What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated. Tough loss to them boys on the road in the Windy City, losing to the Chicago Bulls 135-125. The captain, Jalen Brunson, 29.7 assists. The Big Cat, bounce back game for him, 22 points, 10 rebounds, but it was Josh Giddey, man. Getting busy, just really, really dominating the Knicks tonight. 32 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, almost had a triple-double on them boys, and that was pretty much just the ball game, man. That was the ball game. The Knicks go down by 20, and they just had to fight their way back, and they just couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it, man. You know, Chicago goes to 5-0 on the season. The Knicks are now 2-3 on the season and have lost the last 3 in a row. Tough game, man. Tough game. Some things they need to figure out. This Grover, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Tough game for them boys. Listen, man, look, you know, you gotta get to a point where things have to start clicking. Now, if you guys remember around this time, you know, not around this time, but, you know, in the season, you know, we had so much promise last year. You know, we started off 5-6. Remember, it was kind of crazy. Then we went on that winning streak, right? So it's just still pretty early. But to give up 135 points to the Bulls is insane. Like, that means you're just not guarding anybody. The Bulls were just on fire today. On fire, man. On fire. They shot 53% from the field. They shot 45% from three. The Bulls were just offensively just destroying the Knicks. They out-rebounded us 41-39, right? You can't win games like that when you're giving up that, and on top of that, you're just getting out-rebounded. We didn't really get much from our bench. Deuce played 29 minutes, and, you know, but we didn't really get anything. Josh Hart looks like a shell of himself. I think he's still hurt, man. I think he's just not moving well at all. I think that back is really causing him problems. And if you notice, he didn't play. I believe he didn't play the I don't think he played the whole fourth quarter. I don't think. Josh didn't come out. And there was one scene, one clip. Big shout to Steph Bondy out there, the beat reporter for the Knicks. He showed a clip. I'm going to pull it up for you guys, where Josh Hart was pretty much sitting on the side at the end of the bench while the whole team was up. And, you know, you guys saw him walk off the court. He just didn't look like himself. He doesn't look right. He doesn't look right at all. From the finger to the back, he's just not starting. No, I would sit him. And let him kind of get revamped. Even if it is, you know, he's going to have to go underneath the knife and get the finger taken care of, fine. I would do that, because Josh Hart not being Josh Hart, if he can't do the things that make him great because of his back or because of his finger, then he's not really good out there. And he just didn't have it tonight. He just looked bad. So my thing is that, you know, we really got to kind of reconsider the whole Josh Hart thing. Not saying, of course, him not being on his team. I think he's the heart and soul of the team. He needs to be, but I just think he's going through some things now, obviously. Even though he's trying to fight through it, he's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, I just think that they need to kind of reevaluate that and maybe kind of sit him down, or maybe kind of say, okay, cool, let's, you know, get him to kind of get a couple of things completed, especially with that finger, to where he can be back to his Josh Hart self. Gravity, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Tough loss for them boys in the Windy City. 135-125. The captain, 29 points, 7 assists. The Knicks lose 3 in a row. Rondo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man. Tough loss for them boys. 135-125, man, in Chicago. Knicks now 0-3 on the road trip. Okay, this girl's like, LV, man, I'm going to put you on blast just a little bit tonight. Remember how you said we needed Josh and he shouldn't get the surgery? Ooh, you're absolutely right, sir. I can stand corrected. I can get corrected here, this Grover, even on my show, man, even on my show. And you did mention that he should get the surgery and he should sit out a bit. You did mention that, this Grover. And it's looking like you're correct, sir. He doesn't look right. But this Grover, I don't even know if it's the finger as much as it's the back because he looks like he can't even move. He looks like he can't even move. This Grover, so that's causing some concern here because if he can't move and he can't defend, he only had 1 rebound tonight. That's not him. He's just not moving right. That don't have anything to do with his finger because I was there when he was during the season he was rebounding well with other games. But it's like his back is causing him problems again. It just looks that way. Rondo says, "What up, LV man? Happy? Oh yes, man. Come on, man. Halloween Havoc night. That's what we're going to call it. Halloween Havoc. That's what it feels like. I'm not panicking, but the defense seems optional. Yeah, the defense looks terrible, man. Defense looks terrible. I mean, everything really kind of fell apart in that first quarter. They just didn't seem to really have it, right, guys? Like they were up, they were playing well, and then that first half is what did it. First quarter they lost 35-27, so they're automatically down 8. And then they lose the second quarter 26-37. Right. I mean, so and then they came out big in the second half and they started playing better in the second half. But by that time now it's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle, right? So it's a lot of things they got to try to figure out here. It's a lot of things they got to try to figure out. And believe it or not, it comes back to the head guy. I mean, he's getting a feel for this team. He's getting a feel for how things are. And but I said to you guys earlier in the season, I said, listen, man, I said, look, I said, there's nobody that has more pressure on them than Mike Brown. This team is already ready. This team is ready to go, man. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And if Tibbs would have did things differently, we would be in the finals because we were a better team than Indiana. But a lot of times it's not the best team that wins, guys. It's the guys that's coached the right way. And I hope Mike Brown has taken a note from that because that's kind of like what it feels like here, right? So far. Now, still early, only 5 games in, so no need to panic. But he's got to kind of grab the bull by the horns here because this city and these beat writers can turn on you really fast and put the pressure on, turn the heat up for him. And some people can handle it, some people can't. So, this team is ready to go. They're ready to go. So I told you, I'm gonna stand on it. It's finals or bust. It's finals or bust. You can't get to as far as they've gotten. Every year they've gotten better. You got to admit that with Tibbs. When we get on them, I'm one of the first guys to get on Tibbs, but they got better. Went second round, Eastern Conference Finals, right? So they're getting closer. Was this year the year to get to the finals? If he was to stay, I don't know. But you got to come back with something like that. It's finals or bust. This team is ready to go. And so, that's something that he's going to have to really figure out. But once again, it's only 3 games. Excuse me, it's only 5 games. But we gotta figure some things out. Khaled Passion, man, what's going on, man? Long time no see, man. Hope all is well. Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man, on this Halloween Havoc night. Because that's what it felt like tonight. Knicks lose a tough one in the Windy City. 135-125. The Big Cat, 22 points, 10 rebounds. Khaled Passion says, this coaching looks putrid, man. We don't run any plays at all. Just dribble handoff at the top of the key. This is poor coaching. Well, I'm glad you said that because, hey, guys, listen, I think he's under the most pressure. I've said this. I'm going to say it again. I think he's under the most pressure as a coach in this town. Right? He's going to have to, let's go to the highlights here. He's going to have to really make sure that he gets this team over the hump, man. Because if not, I'm telling you, things will get really, really ugly for him really, really fast. And so he's got to make sure that, he's on point here. He has to. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, we're in a situation where we're a really good team, and you can't have it to where, I mean, Cat played decent tonight, but You can't have it to where 2 games he's not getting touches. Like even tonight, like in the first half or the first quarter, or even the second quarter, I saw that he wasn't really getting too many touches. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Why isn't Towns seeing the ball? See, Towns got to get the ball. Towns got to get the ball. Then, out of his 22, he scored 15 of his 22 in the third quarter. Then he started getting touches and started getting busy. But you got to work that out. This guy's getting $60 million a year. He better be getting his shots. He's that good of a player. He's limited defensively, yes, but offensively, he is that guy. So you got to make sure that he's getting touches, man. I don't care what you do. That's why you're here. You're supposed to be the offensive guy. So you got to make sure that one of your best players is getting up his shots to where that's not nights what happened these last 2 games in Milwaukee and Miami. Like that can't happen with Cat. And so we got to make sure that that kind of stays connected here. But on a positive note, Mikal Bridges, man, again, he had another big night, man. Mikal Bridges, man, was awesome today. 23 points for him, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, man. Listen, Mikal Bridges has really found his niche in this offense. He's looking good. He's looking really, really, really good. But I'm not surprised. This is an upbeat offense. This is his second year with this team. He's starting to feel a little bit more confident, of course, playing with his boys and stuff like that. So that's what, 3 games now? I want to say 3 games in a row that he scored 20 points or so. He's playing really well. Really, really well. Coach, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man. Hope all is well with you, sir. Big shouts to Coach, man, coming to rocking with me, man. Tough loss for the boys in the Windy City on this Halloween Havoc night. 135 to 125. The captain, 29 points, 7 assists. And so, so that's something on a positive note that we have to kind of identify how well Mikal Bridges looks. He looks extremely, extremely good, man. So we got to be happy with that. I thought another great game for OG Anunoby, man. OG Anunoby was great again tonight, man. I thought he's put up pretty good numbers. 13 shots he took today. 26 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds for OG. 10 for 13 for the field was OG Anunoby, man. He's looking really, 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 really good, man. And also, 2 guys, 5 for 7 from 3 today. 5 for 7 from 3. Listen, the Knicks scored way more than enough points to win this game. So the fact that they lost is tough, man. It's a tough pill to swallow, man. Because we got to start getting stops. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on, but that's where, believe it or not, you have to kind of look to coaching in a sense, right? Because how is it they were looking good earlier in the season, but now that they're struggling on the road, like, you know what I mean? So once again, that's where you kind of work out, okay, you got to try to work out these kinks and stuff like that. It makes sense. And we understand that, but you know how this town is, you know how this city is, you know how they do, you know how they are about a lot of different things. And the one thing they don't want to hear is patience. That's the one thing they don't want to hear in this town. You guys know that. So I think that's what is troubling here and very frustrating. Another thing that was bothering me tonight too, man. Another thing that it was really, really irking me. And I want you guys to chime in, please, and tell me if you feel this way too. Why, if you see Josh Giddey is getting busy and was cooking Mikal Bridges all night. And I get it. I like Mikal defensively, but Josh Giddey was just killing him, man. He was killing him. You got to make the switch and put OG Anunoby on him. I don't know why it took him so long to do that. You got to make that switch. You can't have it to where you just, you know what I mean? Like it didn't make any sense to me, man. And I like Mikal as a defender, but the reality is that the better defender on this team against a guy with size like Josh Giddey is OG Anunoby. And I would rather have that and have Mikal Bridges, guard someone else than Josh Giddey, because Josh Giddey was doing what he wanted against Mikal Bridges tonight. It's just the truth, and it's nothing against him as a defender, but I'm just saying, like he just was struggling tonight, and Giddey was getting what he wanted, man. He was getting what he wanted. He was getting to his spots. That runner was money coming up the baseline, jabbing. You know what I mean? Whipping passes across the field like that. You know what I mean? Like across the field, across the court. I didn't even start about Vujicic. Vujicic was cooking everybody. Cat Mitch. You know what I'm saying? So that was my one issue, because Josh Giddey was the engine tonight. Other guys are playing well, but he was the engine. He was the one. And then Vujicic will come in and kind of get his couple of shots. But if you were to slow down Giddey, you get this win tonight. You get this win. But we couldn't slow him down. We couldn't slow him down at all, man. At all. And that's kind of like we're hurt. You know what I mean? That's what really hurt. And you guys, check it out. You had 4 Knicks players in the 20s tonight. 4. So this is a game we should have won. Cutting it down to 2 with 5 minutes left. You know, it's just we got to be able to pull out these games. But you know, I saw this also too, guys. I saw this also too in when we played against Milwaukee. We couldn't close out games. Like, you're kind of seeing that, like coming down the stretch, they're making everything. They're, you know, a lot of these teams are coming up with big buckets and stuff like that, and the Knicks can't get stops. And that's something that they got to kind of figure out here, because it's not like they're getting blown out in these games. They're in these games, but they just can't close the show. They got to learn how to close, man. They got to learn how to close. But I think, in all honesty, that's where, you know, it kind of comes back down to coaching, man. Kind of comes back down to coaching. You got to be able to kind of get these guys in a situation to where, you know, they know how to finish, they know how to win games. It's huge, man. Huge, man. Tough loss today. Tough loss. Eric Green, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, man. Tough loss for the boys in the Windy City. 135 to 125. All right, let me go back to here in this chat, man. See what everyone's talking about. This Rover says, do not blame Brown. It's our players who keep bricking wide open shots. This Rover, I have to agree with you on that. I think that second unit looks terrible. Shamet is like, come on, man. He's throwing up bricks, man. He's got to knock down shots, man. He's getting wide open shots. Wide open shots, and he can't knock it down, man. That's big. That's big in this game, man, because it's like certain swings. We will be missing, and they will be making. Yeah, Shaman was 1 for 5 from 3 today, man. He's got to knock down shots. That's why you're there to come off the bench to knock down shots. That can't happen. I think Yabusele's still dealing with his injury. He only played 3 minutes today, man. After that block that he had, he only played 3 minutes. Remember, you know, like I told you guys before, Clarkson's like a hit or miss thing. He's like hit or miss. So, you know, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. Clay Pastor says, I don't want to hear no excuses, because I've seen coaching changes and you see the difference immediately. It don't take that long. He had all summer to have these guys ready. This is a championship year. Listen, Calipastor's dropping heat, man. Dropping heat. And I can't listen, I can't sit here and say I disagree. He's had many stops, this guy. And so it's got to take time, agreed. But he's had many stops. But I'm going to give him time, Calipastor. I'm going to give him time. I'm going to give him time to figure this thing out here. But he did have all summer, right? Cali Pasha again. It's not just about the shots we're missing. None of those shots are in rhythm. We're completely out of sync. And if you can't see that, you can't see that, then you're blind. That's coaching, not having guys ready. Cali Pasha's coming here dropping heat, man. Dropping heat. This Grover says, we didn't look that out of sync against Cleveland and Boston. Hey, listen, I was there live and uncut, and we did it, this Grover. So the question is, what happened? What happened? Evergreen says the defense is horrible. We are giving up too many points. 135, way too much. Agreed. I said that, man. Against the Bulls, like that can't happen. That can't happen against the Bulls. Like that just can't. 135 points. Like, come on, man. Come on. We got to get stops. We got to get stops here, and that's a problem. Khaled Pastor says Brunson had Mitch on a wide open alley-oop that would have changed the game for us, and he waited mad long, to throw it. Brunson is the worst pick and roll passer in the league. Let me tell you something about that. Khaled Pasha, you aren't wrong. He had him on that oop. He's waiting too long. He's waiting too long. Like in a couple of times on those pick and rolls as well, when Cat is wide open for three, that hesitation, it's like he doesn't want to throw the pass. He waits too long. That should be the first option. As soon as you come off that pick and roll, you should be whipping that ball to Cat and letting him fire the ball. Like, that's what has to happen. Like, Brunson's kind of hesitant, and I think a lot of times this is the Luka stuff that's in him, right? He's looking to attack. And sometimes, he can be a little selfish at times. And so I don't think it's a natural thing for him. So I agree with that. It's valid. Discover says Cat and Deuce and Landry are our snipers. We couldn't hit water if it fell out of the boat tonight. Listen, agreed, man. Agreed. Agreed. We just get knocked down shots, man. We get knocked down shots. What did we shoot? Because it was really the first half. First half, we looked terrible. Terrible in the first half we shot. Guys, we shot better from the field. We shot, as a team, guys, listen, we shot 49% from the field. You ready? We shot 40% from three tonight. I'm going to say it again. We shot 49.5% from the field, which is almost 50%. And we shot 40% from three. 40%. We were 18 for 45. We took 45 threes tonight. We shot 40%. That's pretty good. Offense wasn't a problem, though, guys. Offense wasn't the problem. Nah. We can't stop nobody, man. But that's why I keep on bringing back the whole Giddy thing. Giddy's the engine. And we couldn't stop that guy, man. We couldn't stop him. Giddy was doing what he wanted. He was getting to his spots, everything. And that's really what hurt us. And once we got into that hole, we were down 20. We had to fight back. And you can't do that with a player like him, man. He had all his angles, man. And he was destroying Bridges tonight. Destroying him. And that's the one thing Mike Brown made a mistake with. He didn't make that change. And he should have made that change a lot more quicker. And so I think that hurt also. Giddy was a monster tonight, man. With triple-double, man. He had 32 tonight. 32, 10 points, 9 assists. Josh struggled tonight, man. I'm worried about Josh. He played 15 minutes tonight. Minus 18 for Josh. No points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Numbers like that make me realize, okay, it might be time for a guy to sit. and maybe kind of get some time. Right? So I don't know. That's something to kind of think about in regards to Josh. He's a way better player than this. When you see a player kind of struggling like that, you got to say to yourself, okay, like maybe he needs a minute. I would sit him. Yeah, he didn't look good tonight, man. He didn't look good. That was a big part. That was a big part. But like I said earlier, like defense was the main thing. Like for example, like Giddy had 32, Vujicic got 26, and then the other kid, that's Samu. I can't pronounce his last name. Let's call him Mu. Or Dos. Dosunnu. You guys help me pronounce it. All right. LV's having a hard time tonight. On this Halloween Havoc, man. Getting smoked tonight on the road. 135 to 125 in the Windy City. I'm having a hard time pronouncing names. That's how frustrated I am. But all three of those guys were dominating tonight. Dominating. And the thing with the kid, Dosunnu, okay. The issue with him was that he knocked down a three, but he can't shoot, man. Everything with him was to the basket. Everything with him was downhill. And I said, look, I'd rather him shoot because that's all he could do. He wasn't doing anything else. He was 1 for 3 from 3. Everything was to the rack. Everything was to the rack. Everything. But I'll be honest with you, they were getting every call, man. They went to the line 35 times. We went to the line 23. They were getting every call. Like every call, especially in the first half. And then the whistle started kind of like, leveling out a bit. But by that time, we were playing like, we were trying to catch up. So that's kind of hard to do. But that kid, man, he can't shoot. So that's where, once again, like the frustration sometimes, you got to be able to identify who these players are. You got to be able to say, okay, cool. Like this kid can't shoot. Let me back up off him. Let me force him to shoot. But I'm not going to give him lanes to drive and do all that other stuff. I'm not going to do that. Look at this rover. Here we go. Look. We're already letting random bench guys go off on us for 3. Yeah, man. That's tough, man. That's really, really tough. This Grover. You got a valid point, man. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that at all, because that kid, I just was like, what? Like this kid ain't even that good, man. And then when Brunson did give him space, he knocked down that 3. I said, oh, come on, man. You can't make this up. And sometimes it's just not your night. Sometimes it's just not your night. And that's what it felt like tonight. What'd you guys think about Mitch's minutes, man? I thought Mitch was okay tonight. I thought Mitch was solid. He played 20 minutes tonight. 20 minutes for Mitch. He had 11 boards, 6 offensive, 6 defensive, 4 points tonight. Thought Mitch was solid. So, I mean, first game back, I thought he was okay. He had a couple of dunks, a couple of putbacks, you know what I'm saying? So, it's good to see him out there. 20 minutes is good minutes for him. But I think a big part is that we're not getting no production from the bench, man. We're not getting no production from those guys, especially Clarkson. We know what Josh Hart is, but Shaman, like that hurts, man. That really, really hurts a lot, because that's what we're dependent on. Whereas off that bench, they got 22 from the kid. I think his name is Ayu too. I think Ayu. I'm supposed to say Ayu. Got 22 from him. Herder can knock down 3, so he had 12. The kid with the goggles, the center, Smith, he had 10, and Patrick Williams had 9. So they got production from their bench, and that's the extra 10 points, because we ain't get nothing. Yabusele had 3, Clarkson had 6, Josh had nothing, Shaman had 4, Deuce had 8. This is Deuce's first game back. But if Deuce gave us a good 12, I think we win this game, because offensively we started picking it up in the second half. But that's big, man. That's big. You know, it's another game we're not really getting much from our bench. We're not getting anything from Tyler Kolek. He came in there, dribbled the ball off his foot. He looks shaky today. Now, I like Kolek, I do, but see, this is the moments where you got to really establish yourself, man. You gotta take these minutes very seriously. On a tech, he only went 9 deep today. He only went 9 deep because I think Yabusele's still hurt. He would have went 10, but Kolek only played 4 minutes, man. 4 minutes. He came in looking shaky. He didn't play the rest of the game. So Mike Brown is starting to get back on. He's starting to get on his tip stuff. Yeah, this Rover, right? Here we go. But the Cleveland, right? We had 39 bench points, right? That's, man, I think a big part of that was Deuce, right? But Shaman is too hot and cold. That can't be this Grover. That can't be Shaman. Shamans can't be like just cold like that. Like that can't happen, man. It's the same thing with Clarkson. That's what you guys were brought here for. I think Yabusele's still dealing with the knee. That was a nasty fall he had in Chicago. I think his knee went out from him and buckled on a little bit. He only played 3 minutes tonight, so I don't know if he was fully healthy. Deuce is just coming back, so he had 29 minutes, 8 points, but we got to get more from Shaman. Josh is what he is right now. Once again, you guys open to seeing Diawara, man. You open to seeing Diawara or Dadier, maybe see what they can give you for production's points. Like my thing is like if Shaman is gonna, but the problem with Dadier is he struggles defensively too, because Shaman he gives you effort, but if he's not knocking down shots, he's kind of like, and that's what hurts him, right? But then again, what about Diawara, right? Because I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about the production. Because look, guys, our starters were awesome. I'm gonna bring up the stats in a minute, but our starters were awesome. So it's the bench, the lack of bench production. This roast, the diet is terrible. Yeah. Slim Fat. Yeah, he's got to work on his game, man. They got to send him down in the G League. But but you never know, man. Hey, look, you just this row at this point, man. You're just trying to find answers. You're trying to get some type of production coming off the bench. Because the reality is that we're not getting anything from those guys. Nothing. And the frustrating part is that as much as we like Shamit, right? There's gonna be questions about should we have kept Garrison Matthews, right? Because that's one thing he can do. He can knock down shots. And if Shamit's not gonna be knocking down shots, then it's kind of like, well, for that we might as well kept the other guy. That's the frustrating part about this. So I mean, it's kind of hurts when you can't really get much production from those guys. And the Bulls altogether, they got 53 points from the bench. Knicks got 21. That's it right there, man. They outscored us by almost 30 points from the bench. That's the ball game right there, man. That's the ball game. And so, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. But what we can't do is jump out the window. That's what I'm not going to do. That's what we're not going to do. I love our team and I love what we have, but we got to remain optimistic. We got to remain positive. Got to remain positive, people. We can't be, jumping out the window saying, okay, this team stinks and, there's some things they got to work out. But it's a long season. It's a long season. Even though Cat wasn't the best tonight, I loved his aggressiveness tonight. I love the fact in that second quarter he started looking for him and giving him and feeding him and letting him do him. He's too good of a player to be only taking a couple of shots and scoring 8 points. He's too good, man. He's too good of a player. You can't just, not allowing him to get touches. That can't happen. Evergreen says, you made a lot of excellent points, but it still comes down to defense. We can't win consistently if we're giving up 130 plus. That's well said, sir. And I think you're 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. But that's where, Eric Green, I'm stressing the whole piece of, what Josh Giddey was doing. Because how big is Giddey, man? I think Giddey's huge, man. I think he's like 6'9" or something like that. How big is Josh Giddey, man? Let's see right now. Because he's got some good size on him. He's 6'7". 6'7". Mikel's what, 6'6"? I think Mikel is 6'6". So he's got some good size. I mean, they're almost pretty much the same size, but he was cooking Mikel, man. Mikel's 6'6". But OG is 6'8", 6'8", 6'9". You gotta have a guy like that on him, because he ain't gonna be able to do all that stuff that he was doing to OG. OG would give him a hard time. And I think whoever you would have to switch on with Mikal Bridges, he would probably do better. Because I mean, I'm not worried about Patrick Williams. Are you worried about him? The other kid is real athletic, right? The other kid they had out there, the young kid, number 14. He's real athletic. What's his name? I forget his name. Buzelis, right? Buzelis. He's super athletic. So maybe that's why they. Yeah, but see, I would listen. Yo, man, listen. I would have made sure. As soon as Josh Giddey started cooking, I would have made a switch. I would have made a switch ASAP. I would have been like, yo, listen, we got to switch this up now. And I don't care who, whose feelings are hurt. So I don't know, man. And I think that's where you got to make those adjustments, right, guys? You know what I mean? Because Eric Green, to your point, we got to get stops. We couldn't get no stops today, but that's because we couldn't stop the engine. Josh Giddey was coming downhill every single time and putting pressure on us. How do you stop that? You have a guy like OG Anunoby guard, who's got the speed and the physical stature to be able to stop or slow down a Josh Giddey. He would have a lot of hard time with OG Anunoby. And then you saw towards the end in that fourth quarter, but it was like 2-3 minutes left. It's too late now. You put OG Anunoby on him. That was way too late. And that's where, to me, as a coach, he's got to make quicker decisions as that and kind of make better adjustments there, because I think that's really what hurt us, man. Josh Giddey, he's the engine. Those other guys are doing their thing and stuff like that, but he was the one. He was setting the tone. He was setting the tone tonight. And so I think that's kind of like what really hurt, to be honest with you. You got to stop the main engine, man. You got to stop the main engine. You can't have it to where you just let him just do what he wants to do, because that's what it looked like. It looked like Josh Giddey was doing what he wanted. It didn't matter. It didn't matter who you put out there, what you like it didn't matter at all. And if you just allow him to do what he was doing, just coming downhill and just attacking, then it doesn't really matter really what we do or how many points we score. We can't stop their main guy. Okay, here. Let me take a look here. I'm gonna pull up this right here. Vibes, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming to Rock with LV Live. Tough loss for them boys on this Halloween Havoc night, man. That's what this is going to be. Halloween Havoc night. 135-125 to the Chicago Bulls. The Knicks lose. The Big Cat, 22 points, 10 rebounds. Bounce back game for him offensively. Vibes says guys can't shoot. Vibes, it was like that in the first half, man. It was like that in the first. Atlantic Lion, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man. Tough loss for them boys on this Halloween Havoc night. 135-125 in the Windy City. The captain, 29 points, 7 assists. Vibes, that was more like the first half, man. That was the first half. Like they just couldn't get their rhythm. Like they just couldn't, right? So off in the second half, they started to step it up offensively. But you can't have slow starts in this league and then go down 20. You can't, because then the rest of the game, what are you doing? You're chasing. And that's what happened. And once they started missing shots, the Knicks started making shots, right? Then we started getting a little momentum. But we cut the lead to 2 with 5 minutes left in the third. In the fourth, excuse me. And then we couldn't get no stops after that. We couldn't get no stops. I would have also too, I would have went back to that double big lineup. I would have went back to that. Because I would have put Mitch on Vujicic. Because he started cooking towards the end. I would have taken Cat off him and put Cat on the wing someplace. I would have went back to that 2 big lineup. That's what I would have did. Because then a lot of the shots that we missed, Mitch probably would have got offensive rebounds on those. And so I think, I think that's something he should really consider, like towards the end of games. But then again, maybe he's afraid because of Hacker Mitch. I'm not sure. Atlantic Lion says, man, it's hard not to be pessimistic right now. Still early in the season. When Mike Brown really begins to settle in the Rocklands, we good. Yeah, man, he's got to I think he's a good coach. I think he'll figure it out. But this city and this fan base, and also too, these beat reporters, they don't have patience, man. They don't have patience, especially coming off of Eastern Conference Finals. And you got one of the best players in the league, Jalen Brunson. He's proven it because he's cooking right now. But Brunson's numbers are crazy. Right, I'll bring it up in a second. But you gotta. Sorry, excuse me. You gotta make sure that guys are coming out and ready to go, man. Brunson was big tonight, man. Brunson was 12 for 25 from the field. He shot 50%, almost 50% from the field, 48% from the field. 37% from 3, Brunson was. Brunson was 3 for 8 from 3. Mikal Bridges shot great today, man. He shot 9 for 14, shot 60% from the field, 50% from 3. OG Anunoby shot 76% from the field, 10 for 13, and he was 5 for 7 from 3, 70% from 3. I mean, the supporting cats came to play, man. It's just you didn't get nothing from your bench. I told you guys the numbers from the bench. 53-21, they beat us, points-wise. Right? So you're not going to win playing many games like that. You're just not. And so I think that played a major role. But I think he should have went back to that lineup with Mitch and Cat. Because I would have had Cat. Excuse me, I would have had Mitch on Vucevic. I hope I'm saying his name right, man. That's what I would have did. Because he was cooking, man. He was cooking. He had a big night. He had a big night. But also, too, I know Mitch was gassed. I know Mitch was tired. Right? I know Mitch was trying to get his legs back and his wind back. But, you got to... man, you got to start stepping it up, man. You have to. Okay, all right. So let's hear from the coach, man. Let's hear from the coach. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's hear what Mike Brown has to say, man. I think he's gonna start hearing it a little bit. He's gonna start hearing it. He's gonna start hearing it a bit. Let me get this ready for you guys. 1 second, man. He's gonna start hearing it a bit. And the reality of the situation is, this is a different place, man. This is a different place. This is a different place. And I know that people want to try to say, okay, don't panic. And I believe in not panicking. Let me fix this for you guys. I'm sorry. I believe in not panic. I believe in not being optimistic and kind of taking it day by day. I understand that. But this is a different place, man. this is a different place, and a lot of people can't make it here. They can't because they ain't got the backbone to deal with it. And so I just hope he understands that. But let's hear what he has to say. Listen to the coach.
Real simple tonight. We lacked the physicality that we wanted to have and that we've been showing on the defense end of the floor. Our ability to guard the basketball was not good in the first half. We were getting blown by possession after possession after possession, and guys were finishing at the rim with no help defense there. And if we did bring help, they sprayed the ball like they play, and we didn't get the shooters. We didn't close with a purpose and get to their airspace to make them uncomfortable shooting the basketball. So our defense tonight, in the first half especially, in the second half we were a little better, was non-existent, and it starts with guarding the basketball. We have to be better guarding the basketball, and it has to be with a sense of physicality, because if we don't, teams are going to do exactly what Chicago did tonight on the offense end of the floor. We've lost 3 in a row. We've hit some adversity early in the season. Now I'm interested to see how we respond.
Well, he's saying that. I like what he's saying, right? He's saying things like openly, like, you know, I like to see how we respond, right? Like he's saying that openly. But no one, people want to see how you're going to respond. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's saying like it's the team's fault. Like that people want to see how he's going to respond. What are you going to do to get these guys ready? Like that's why people go, you know what I mean? This is a different place, man. This is a different place. So you can say, yeah, I want to see the last 3 in a row. I want to see how we respond. No. People want to see how you get them to respond. You're the guy here. You're the guy. So Tibbs got them to respond. He just wouldn't play those other guys. You know what I'm saying? But you understand what I'm saying, right? So people want to see what you're going to do, because this team has already made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, man. They've already made it there. Right? So they just need a little push to get over the hump. So what are you going to do to get them over the hump? Like, that's the thing that I don't think he really, I'm not saying he doesn't understand. I'm not trying to say that. But by his statements, yes, we understand all that stuff happened. Yes, we understand those things. Defensive breakdown starts with attacking the ball. Well, who was getting busy tonight? Who was the engine tonight? It was Josh Giddey. So if Mikal is struggling, you got to make a switch on that. You got to make a quick decision and say to yourself, all right, cool, I got to make a change here. Because at the point of attack, we're having a hard time. Point of attack is Mikal Bridges, right, on Josh Giddey. You got to say, all right, OG, I want you on him. Because, you know, OG gets in the passing lane. So all that stuff that Josh is doing, he's going to have a hard time doing that at OG. OG's bigger. He's stronger. So he's going to have a hard time doing that. And so I hear what he's saying, but then I'm like, all right, cool. You want to see how we respond? No, we want to see how you respond. We want to see how you do with this team and get these guys ready to go. Because the last guy got into the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm just saying, so this is what I mean. I hope this guy understands, because I hear what he's saying. I see what he's doing. He's playing on words. So he's like, oh, you know, because he's trying to put it on the guys. No. It don't go like that here. It don't go like that here. They're going to put it on you. Because this team has proven that they can get far without you. And they were close to getting further. So you all you got to do is just get them there. That's all you got to do. Very interesting. Very interesting. Atlantic Line says, man, it's hard watching Cat. Sometimes, man, clumsy, always getting knucklehead fouls. Atlantic Line, listen, yo, he was okay today, man. He was, how many fouls he had? He wasn't getting no bad fouls. I mean, other times, yeah, but not tonight, man. Tonight, he wasn't getting that. How many fouls did Cat have? I mean, he only had a couple fouls. I think he had like 2 fouls tonight. Oh, this Rover, this is big. This is big. Watching Cat brick those threes, wide open threes, hurts too. Yeah, listen, listen. Agreed, Disc Grover. He's got to knock those down, man. But he usually does, though, Disc Grover. He usually does. But if you can't knock those down, those were big. Those are huge ones too. Because Brunson swung them to him. He was wide open. Bang. You got to knock those down. Because he was missing those. They was pushing it down. And they was scoring right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It was scoring really quick. And then boom, that lead ballooned from, they were up 3 or 4 or 5 to like 12 quick. Because he missed a couple of wide open threes. And they got it, they got out and ran with it, man. But yeah, those are huge, Disc Grover. Those were huge. As soon as he came right back in the game off of the bench, he missed those 2 wide open threes. Okay, let's listen to Mike Brown again.
I have to keep trying to put.
Let's listen to Mike Brown again, right? Okay, he's. It looks like the media is starting to get on him now. They're starting to press those buttons. You see, these journalists are different, man. Different type of beasts. So let's see what they're saying to him.
I got to keep telling the truth. I'm going to keep telling the truth. I'm going to keep coaching them. I have to keep trying to put them in the best possible position to win. Okay, but we also have to take pride, like I said, to me, tonight comes back to guarding the basketball. We got to sit down and guard the basketball with a sense of urgency and a little bit of physicality without sending them to the free throw line. Now, they end up with 30-something free throws because we were going steal foul at the end, but they still had too many early in the game. They were starting to get there because we weren't guarding the ball and we were reaching when we shouldn't be reaching.
See, once again, play on words, right? Like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you on that. You're right. Physicality, right? I hear him. Physicality, right? Point of attack. Who was the point of attack defender tonight? Mikal Bridges. He was struggling with Josh Giddey. You got to identify that early, man. Early. If Josh Giddey's cooking like that, you're going to have to make a switch. Who's the most physical defender on this team that really doesn't get too many fouls called on him with his physicality? That's OG Anunoby. So you got to cut off the head of the snake. The head of the snake is Josh Giddey. That's what he wants to do. He wants to go downhill. He wants to attack, but he would not be able to do that with OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby put pressure on him to where he would think twice about it because he can't get by OG Anunoby because he's too big and too strong, and he's athletic enough to where, if Giddey tries to get off those passes or do whatever, he's swinging that ball across the other side of the court. OG Anunoby's great with deflections, right? So certain things, OG Anunoby make it really, really hard for him. Really, really hard for him. And so, I hear what he's saying about the beginning of the game because I do agree. They were getting stupid fouls. I think the refs were just calling a lot too because every time we turn around, they were getting they were going to the free throw line. But I think you got to attack the head of the snake. And then when that kid Ayo comes in, Ayo, that's what I'm saying. That's his name, Ayo or whatever. Ayo or whatever. AYO. When he comes in, you're going to have a point of attack defender on him also. And because everything he wants to do is go downhill too. So you got to see that, and you got to know these guys' strengths. So you got to kind of play back off of him, and you got to force him to shoot. He was 1 for 3 from 3, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to attack and go downhill. You got to be able to identify that. You got to be able to identify that, and that's coaching. That's coaching. So yes, I hear what he's saying about the point of attack and all this other stuff, and we got to get physical at the top. Well, you got to attack the head of the snake, man. You got to put somebody on him that's going to make it hell for him. Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? Coming up and down that court, and that's OG Anunoby. That's what you got to do. You got to identify who Josh Giddey is. He's that good of a ball player. He's no bum, man. So you got to say, all right, cool, OG, you going, because I need him to I need you to get him off of rhythm, because you get him off of rhythm, that's going to impact the rest of the team. This girl says, I'm going to say Josh is not playing to his $20 million contract whatsoever this far. So, Disc Grove, I think he's hurt, man. This Rover, I think he's really hurt. I don't think it's a situation where Josh is just like, all right, I'm just gonna mail it in tonight. He's not that type of guy. But I think they should sit him, this Grover, to your point. So I'm agreeing with you, sir. I'm giving you your flowers. I'm agreeing with you. I think they should sit him. He doesn't look good out there. He doesn't. He doesn't. And so, because remember, he came in, it wasn't just his finger. He had some back issues. He tweaked his back. And that's danger zone because remember, he's an older player. So when you start tweaking your back and stuff like that, and it's early in the season, that can linger for a while. It's kind of like pulling a hamstring. That can linger for a while. So you gotta be mindful of that with Josh. So he's got a lot of mileage on that NBA body, right? He's got a lot of mileage on that. So you got to kind of be mindful of that with him. This girl says, I know he's hurt, man. Homie, come on. You gotta back off to the surgeon and not see the court again until February. Listen, this Rover, I'm open to that, man. I'm open to that. Him getting back and kind of getting that finger taken care of and kind of resting his back and kind of saying, all right, cool. He's just a key cog to what it is that we do. But I think you got to do that because he's not himself, man. He's not himself, and I think he's trying to be there for his team. But I think he kind of needs to kind of chill and get right first before he can really kind of come back. But I do think he was pretty upset today. I think he was pretty upset. I don't think he was. He just didn't look like himself. He didn't look like himself at all. Actually, let me pull up the video, man. Let me pull up the video. I'm gonna show you guys the video of him on the bench, man. He didn't look good, man. I was like, what's up with Josh, man? I see the whole team over there. He's sitting over there with his back brace, man. Turn the volume off here. Pull this up for you guys. You see him in the far corner right here? You see my arrow? There he is right there. That's everybody over here, but he's over there in the corner. He's chilling. I'm going to play the video for you. Big shouts to my man, Steph Bondi, man. He does, great things over there. Knicks beat writer, man. He's filming Josh over here now. You see Josh. He's just sitting there, man. Everyone's up. He's got his head down. You see that? And he's got the back brace on. See the black thing right there? In between them. You see the black thing? He's got that back warmer thing on. So his back is obviously bothering him. And we ain't even talking about the finger. So he's right over here. He's right here. See him with the headband right here. See the arrow? He's right there at the end of the bench. Atlantic Line says Josh isn't in a good way, man. Right. They gotta do something with him. Yeah, man. Like Atlantic Line, I think there's something going on with him, man. And listen, hey, look, big shouts to my man, This Rover. Man, This Rover said he thinks he should get the surgery and kind of chill. Like, This Rover sits in February. Come back then, maybe after the All-Star break. This Rover says, right, he can't move because his back is out, and he can't score or rebound because his finger is destroyed. Right, agreed. So to your point, you should probably sit, man. Sit, maybe give a guy like DOR some minutes, man. But it's a big deal for these guys, man. These guys, they're committed to the team and the brotherhood. They carry that Villanova stuff on their sleeve, man. You know how that go. But I do think that he's having a hard time. I do think that he is struggling, and I do think that it's a situation to where he He wants to be there for his team, right? He wants to kind of work hard. He kind of wants to do things, but you got to kind of chill, man. You got to kind of chill and kind of say, okay, what do I think is best? Excuse me. That's what I kind of think he should be doing. Just my honest opinion. I'm leaning into what Disc Rover said. Disc Rover, I'm giving you your props. You have made LV a believer. You made me a believer, sir. At first, I was like, nah, if Josh says he's okay. But nah, he doesn't look good, man. He doesn't look good at all. And I think he's trying. You got to give it to him. He's trying to make it work for his team. But like you said, if he can't rebound, he's not scoring, he's not doing these different things. And it's kind of like, well, what are you really doing? Right? You're hurting the team more than you're helping the team. And, like which one is more important, right? And so we got to kind of look at it in that aspect. They were getting a lot of fouls today. So, hey, did you see when Cat drove to the rack, man? You see what happened to him? He straight pushed him in the air, man. Did you guys see that? I'm pull it up for you guys now, man. They didn't even call nothing on this, man. Nothing. Cat tried to bang it. He had his forearm in his back. I mean, his chest. And that's why Cat fell to the ground.
Oh, Towns goes down hard.
We'll pull it up for you guys right now, man. He got fouled here, man. They didn't even call that. And they were giving the Bulls everything. Remember, the Bulls went to the line like 35 times. That's when Towns got hurt, man. He tried to take it to the rack. He tried to bang it on the dude, and the refs were like, yeah, no harm, no foul. Here we go right here, guys.
Every one of these guys, including Okoro tonight, is knocking it down. Oh, Towns goes down hard. And he's shaking up. Robinson goes down. He seems to be okay. Boy, as much as we've talked about loving
the forearm right there.
You see his left
that's why he fell back.
Kind of stuck on Vucevic, and then he goes up to jam it, and
it's the forearm right in his chest. Boom, that's why he fell back. He pushed him back like that.
Have that right arm in there? Or
yeah. That's why he fell back.
Boy, it just seemed like his foot came out from under him, and he landed awkward, but
that's a nasty fall, man. That's a foul. That's a foul. He's putting his forearm right in his chest. Evergreen says, we have the Bulls on Sunday at the Garden. We need to send a message to them and ourselves and shut them down. Listen, agreed, sir. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, man. That was tough for Cat, man. Listen, that's a nasty fall too, man. He could have really got hurt, man. But the frustrating part is that, stuff like that, they were giving the Bulls calls like that all night, man. All night. We couldn't get nothing. Nothing. And that's what hurts because when you're on the road, you're trying to get a win, man. Especially when you lost a couple in a row, right? You're trying to get everything. And I get it, we're not going to get every call, but we got to get some calls, man. Especially that what happened right there. That was pretty bad. Okay, guys, let me pull up the stats here for you guys, man. Let me show you guys the stats so you guys can see exactly what's been going on here with these guys. Pull up the stats. 1 second here. Okay. All right, make sure my screen is set up perfectly for you guys. Let me fix this around. All right, cool. So, guys, so you see the stats right there. Hey, guys, our wings are coming to play, man. They just got to get stops defensively, man, because that's one thing we're struggling to do. But you see OG Anunoby, man. He's coming around. Look at those numbers. 26 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, right? 1 steal for OG, 1 block. But you see the numbers, man, 10 for 13 from the field. Like we talked about this last game, about the amount of shots he's going to take. He took 13 shots today. He made 10 of them. And 5 for 7 from 3. Right? Towns 22 and 10. We talked about that. 6 for 14 from the field. 42% from the field. 1 for 5 from 3. He couldn't throw the ball in the water from deep. And that's a big part of his game. Kel Bridges, 23 points, right? 4 rebounds, 6 assists. 14 shots for him. 9 for 14 for him. He shot 64% from the field. 4 for 8 from 3. Mikal, 50%. And, I mentioned to you the captain and his numbers. But guys, look at the bench, man. Look at Clarkson. Look at that. 1 for 4 field goals, 25%. 1 for 4 from 3, 25%. Josh Hart, we already talked about him. Look at Shamet, guys. 15 minutes, 4 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal, 1 for 5 field goals, 1 for 5 from, come on, man. And Deuce's first game back, right? Tyler Kohler got in. He looked like garbage. They didn't play him again at all. I don't think. Wait. Kohler didn't play in the second half, man. He played a little bit in the second, and that was it, man. They snatched him out quick. They wasn't wasting no time, man. Kohler's got to be careful, man. He might have a short leash here, man. He's got to be careful. He's got to be super duper careful here, man. Because this is how you play yourself out of the league, right? Because they're giving him opportunities, man. But he's got to show and prove. He's got to show and prove, especially in moments like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think once again, I like the kid. I think he's pretty good, but he's got to step it up, man. He's got to step it up, and he's got to play better. He's got to. You know what I mean? He's got to kind of show that he belongs. I think he does, but he's got to play better in moments like this, especially on the roads. Like things like that. Like he has to be better, man. But we didn't get anything from the bench today, man. Nothing from the bench. Nothing at all. And that can't happen, man. That can't happen if we're trying to win games. This Rover says Deuce and Tyler were not great choices to leave in. Well, listen, I think this Rover, man, listen, I think he was trying to find something there, trying to give Tyler opportunities here. That's what he's trying to do to this Rover. He's trying to give him opportunities. But, he's got to take advantage of his opportunities, man. This Rover says, I agree. Tyler needs to just take off his limiters and go off he just has to play ball, man. I've said that. Because if not, he's not going to get minutes. He's not. You see what happened today, right? You see what happened today. He won't get minutes, man. He won't get minutes. Yeah, I understand that, this Rover, but you need somebody to run a point, man. You need somebody to run a point. Once again, but I think this Rover, he was trying to see what he can get out of those guys. I think he wanted to see if they can give a spark or something like that. I think he wanted to see that. Right. And I think that's why that happened the way it did, this Rover. But you see, right, they wasn't really giving him anything, and he took him out. All right, guys. So listen, let's take a look at here. Let's take a look at the schedule here going forward now. Let me pull that up for you guys. Okay. All right, so you see the schedule here, right? So we just played the Bulls, right? We lost 3 in a row. All right. So look, guys, so the next 7 games we got at home. Should be an easy couple ones, right? So we got Chicago again Sunday. Monday, we got Washington, right? Wednesday, we got Minnesota. No Ant Edwards. He's out with a hamstring. He's going to be out for some time. We got Brooklyn. We got Memphis. We got Orlando. We got Miami. Listen, guys, we can run off 7 in a row here. 7 in a row and be 9-3. We can do that. But then right after that, guys, right after that, we go on a road for what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5 straight road games. At Miami again, at Dallas, at Orlando, at Brooklyn, and at Charlotte. I think we could beat Miami, man. I don't know what happened there, but the Dallas game is going to be tough. But these other games just are definitely winnable. Orlando, Brooklyn, and Charlotte. That shouldn't be a problem. We should honestly, these next couple of games, these next 7-5 spot, right? These next 12 games, we should go 9-3. 9-3. I think Dallas is a tough one. Maybe Minnesota. Maybe we lose one of these to Orlando. But everything else we should win with no problem. I think we should beat the Heat both times. They don't have Tyler Hero, man. He's not going to be back for a while. We should beat the Heat with no problem. So, you know, what do you think? We go 9-3? What do you guys think? What say you? These next 12 games. The Strova says, let's go 7-0. 7-0 at home so I can stop seeing people whine about the. Yeah. Agreed. But that's what it looks like for guys these next 12 games. That's what it looks like, man. So listen, we got to try to get it back, man. Try to get it back Sunday. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's my show. I'm LV Live, man. Tough loss to them boys on Halloween Havoc to the Chicago Bulls, 135-125, man. Let's try to get back Sunday. All right, I will be going live then, so please come through and check it out. Listen, I appreciate everybody coming through, rocking with me. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button, hit that like button. Hit that like button, people, right? Also, too, if it's your first time coming through, rocking with me and my crew, please subscribe to the channel. Also, too, please leave comments because I do respond to comments. All right, tough loss to them boys. I will be back Sunday to go live again, so please come through and check that out. All right, I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here, people. Peace.